Yo, what's up, guys? From the previous video, I take criticism pretty well, but I do think the idea of quote unquote cheating in VGC has been misconstrued. Cheating is the implied definition in the eyes of the Pokemon Company and the VGC tournament officials. I'm not saying you don't have to cheat or you shouldn't cheat, but the problem is if you get caught doing sloppy editing, then that's on you. You broke the rules. You risked breaking the rules in the eyes of the Pokemon Company. Me personally, I do gen Pokemon. I have dwindled within third party software, but I'm not going to show up in a VGC tournament ever because I'm not trying to risk myself getting banned from a tournament if I ever want to participate one in the future. But on the topics of VGC, I think there are three ways or three ideas that can help fix VGC and eventual Pokemon altogether. So let's go talk about it. Please like and subscribe. So the first and foremost, this one's not so subtle. It's basically giving us more Poké Dollars from the get-go. Now, I know there are exploits in the game that, we see them every other year. Hey, you can get 4 million Poké Dollars in 30 minutes. I feel like that idea should be naturally implemented in the game. I understand why we got to do terror raids. I understand why we got to do all these quests and side quests and all that stuff to get more money because they want us to explore an open world game, and that's kind of the point of an open world game, and there should be some sort of difficulty in regards to getting resources. But if you give us more Poké Dollars from the get-go, that enables us to reduce so much grind. Can you imagine from the get-go, you start off a Pokemon game with a little bit of Poké Dollars, but then eventually when you make your way and do some quests, you get like 5 million in 10 minutes naturally in the game. That enables you to buy resources such as vitamins for EV training. That gives you the ability to buy ability changing items, and they're very pricey. We can buy PP ups because you want to max out your movesets of the Pokemon itself. If you are a breeder, that allows you to get access to the Destiny Knot, the Everstone, and so on and so forth. I do think increasing the amount of Poké Dollars would help in not completely changing the way we get battle ready Pokemon, but essentially accelerate the method of getting all these resources available. That will definitely save a lot of time, which is a big issue that I've seen. Pretty much the biggest complaint in VGC and getting a competitive ready team is the grind, the amount of time that it takes to have a full on six Pokemon meta game team. So there's that. My second idea is, well, this is more of a criticism, but if I'm going to compete in a VGC tournament, whether it's regionals, nationals, internationals, worlds, and the current generational game right now is Scarlet and Violet, there's absolutely no reason I should be going back into Legends Arceus to get an Enamorus, which is one of the, meta-defining Pokemon in VGC. And there's for sure, absolutely no reason I should be going back an entire generation in Sword and Shield DLC in order to get an Urshifu, which is another meta-defining Pokemon. Stick to one game, Game Freak, Pokemon, whoever's listening out there. If you're not going to give us those Pokemon, at least give us the ability, or give us a mystery gift. At the very least, give us a mystery gift that enables us to get Urshifu and Namorous. I kind of like the idea of Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, where if you have the save data of past games, you can get the Mew and Jirachi. But then that kind of defeats the purpose because you still would have to have access to those games in order to get those kind of Pokemon. Just drop the Pokemon like in a Pal Park method or some sort of method that they randomly appear in the wild. Like, hey, if we completed a quest or something, that allows you to get access to Urshifu roaming around in the DLC. Or no, not even a DLC, in the mainline story of Scarlet and Violet. Forget about DLC here. It's very unfortunate that They want to maximize their profits. And they, I mean the Pokemon Company. That's why we have to buy all these games in order to get the best 6 meta defining Pokemon. It's utterly ridiculous that we don't have full access to all the Pokemon that the players need in order to compete the game that Pokemon created themselves. It's ridiculous. There's no way I should be going back into Legends Arceus, put in, and this is quite a bit of time you have to put in Legends Arceus in order to get one Pokemon that will have to get transferred through Pokemon Home, which is a paid service, and then you have to transfer it into Scarlet and Violet. Same thing with Sword and Shield. You have to buy Sword and Shield, the DLC, you have to complete the main story, and you have to have some sort of progression in the DLC in order to enable yourself to get Urshifu transferred to Home and into Scarlet and Violet. Oh, and by the way, if you guys forgot, that they also, when you trade through Pokemon Home, or I should say send or transfer through Pokemon Home, your IVs and all that stuff, your stats and your move sets, I believe the stats and IVs don't get altered to an extent, but the move set does get altered, so you have to again replace those moves, which is, oh man, I understand why, because moves get deleted over time, but they essentially quote unquote alter your Pokemon once they get transferred into the current generation, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is. That's something that they should fix. I don't understand why Pokemon is one of the only games, and you think about it, like the only other games that have a huge video game tournament scene are fighting games. You don't need a Street Fighter 3 in order to play Street Fighter 6. You don't need Mortal Kombat 1 in order for you to play in Mortal Kombat X or 11, whatever number they're at nowadays. It's just ridiculous. But again, just keep it to one game. Make us get the Pokemon via roamers, via maybe a free DLC drop or mystery gift or even Terra raids. And then last but not least, and I think this is probably going to solve your legality and hacking and cheating and suspicions, reasonable suspicion issues, is introducing a bottle cap that lowers IVs, or introduce bottle caps that allows us to manipulate IVs. We've all seen those Pokemon in VGC with 5 perfect IVs, and they somehow have a 0 IV in attack or speed. And speed is most notably known for Trick Room. 0 speed means your Pokemon is as slow as it can possibly be. Trick Room. Those with 0 attack, essentially it's foul play. Even though it's kind of somewhat rare nowadays for foul play to be taken into consideration. But I think if you give us the ability to manipulate IVs via an item that is similar to the bottle caps, this would pretty much solve the majority of the issues going on in VGC. Now, again, I'm not going to sit here and be a hypocrite and say, well, you shouldn't cheat or you shouldn't gen. I mean, I do gen, but I don't, again, compete in official tournaments. But if you give us the ability to manipulate IVs, and they have to be readily accessible, not just in Terra Raid drops, not just in Pokemon's that are worth 100,000 Pokedollars. If you give us an item that allows us to easily manipulate IVs of Pokemon to whatever number we want them to be, as long as within the legal parameters, this is going to solve huge issues going on. Now, will they ever do it? I hope so. I don't think so, but I hope they do. I hope they understand, and by they I mean the Pokemon Company and Game Freak. I hope they understand that I appreciate that they're trying to push people into VGC, but you cannot push people into a new house and the house has not been renovated. Doesn't meet up to standards. You got to do some fixing in there in order for it to be livable and affordable. They have to change their methods. They have to keep up with the times. This archaic tradition of, thinking that everything is all right isn't going to hold up in 2024. Some things have to change. And I do think from these three changes can definitely make VGC and Pokemon, competitive Pokemon specifically, a much better place for those who want to battle. Those who love to get on Wi Fi and do their little battles, or for those who are aspiring VGC competitive players. It's your boy Franklin signing out. Appreciate if you guys like and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts. You think I hit those ideas pretty good? What other ideas you guys might possibly have? Show them in the comment section down below. Peace.